Understanding welding hazards. Welding operators use highly technical welding processes that can create dangers in the workplace. Both oxyacetylene and electric arc welding can pose safety and health hazard for welders and workers. Nearby exposure to these hazards can result in discomfort, temporary or permanent physical injury, even death. But welding can be safe if you protect yourself from dangers. You owe yourself and your fellow workers to find out what the hazards are, evaluate their presence in your work environment, and learn how to control them. The first step to safe welding is to know about the hazards you may come up against. Every welding process and has a potential hazards that are always present. Some are obvious and some are not. And let's take a look at some of these hazards now. The intense light rays emitted from electric arc are ultraviolet and infrared. Excessive exposure to ultraviolet rays from welding flashes can cause permanent damage to the eyes and cause blindness. Some health and safety hazards associated with commercial fishing. Commercial fishing is done in an extreme environment and uses various types of equipment because the environment can change quickly. It is important to remain alert to any changes. Hazards include, but are not limited to, working on or near water, including water, shock and immersion, drowning, injuries from fishing, spine bones or bacteria, working outdoors, weather, cold environments, hot environments, ultraviolet radiation, and working safety around stinging insects, diseases transmitted by insect bites, including Lyme disease. Working at heights, including the use of body belts, harnesses, and lanyards. Working near machinery, including using safeguards. Working with hand tools and powered hand tools. Chemical hazards, including following the workplace hazards material information system. Emergency response procedures should be in place. All crew members should know how to respond to a person overboard, fire on board, and flooding of the boat. Crew must also know how to abandon ship and to call for help using any radios, phone, flares, or distress flag. All crew should also know how the location and use of safety equipment, engine room, components and controls, tech equipment, navigation equipment, and electronic devices. Safe use of fishing equipment, how to anchor the boat and escape routes specific to the boat. Everyone on board the vessel should know where this equipment is stored and how to use it. Learn exactly what specific requirement and regulation apply to your vessel. Avoid electrical hazards both in your home and elsewhere. Never touch a fallen power line. Call the power company to report fallen power lines. Avoid contact with overhead power lines during cleanup and other activities. Do not drive through standing water if downed power lines are in the water. If a power line falls across your car while you are driving, stay inside the vehicle and continue to drive away from the line. If the engine stalls, do not turn off the ignition. Warn people not to touch the car or the line. Call or ask someone to call the local utility company and other emergency services. Do not allow anyone other than emergency personnel to approach your vehicle. If electrical circuits and electrical equipment have gotten wet or are in ordinary water, turn off the power at the main breaker or fuse in the service panel. Do not enter standing water to access the main power switch. Call an electrician to turn it off. Never turn power on or off yourself or use an electrical tool or appliance while standing in water. Do not turn the power back on until electrical equipment has been inspected by a qualified electrician. All electrical equipment and appliances must be completely dry before returning them to service. Have a certified electrician check these items if there is any question. If you see firing or sparks when you restore power, or if there is an odor of something burning but no visible fire, you should immediately shut off the electrical system or the main circuit.